How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Fishflies, issue number 1. This is written and drawn by Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire is a really good comic artist who writes everything, like super deep and dark all the way up to whimsical fantasy stuff. A really good range as a writer. I really like Gideon Falls, but he's done a bunch of cool stuff. So to see him write and draw his own thing, he doesn't always draw them, but they always have a kind of unique Jeff Lemire feel when he does. So I was really curious to see what his new one that he himself drawed would be like, and it's this really interesting story. There's a criminal who, let's just say a situation gets messy when he tries to hold up a gas station. He's injured and gets away and hides in this barn where he meets a young girl. And the girl's a really interesting character who decides to help the guy out. She's not a bad kid, but you can see her situation's a little gruffer. She has kind of an abusive father, and in turn, she knows this guy's a criminal, but she's kind of like, yeah, you're a bad guy, but that doesn't mean I want you to go to jail, You'll feel bad for a little bit, and then things will move on, So this nature of seeing something so gruff and not caring and just wanting to help the guy out, it is really interesting. But of course the book is called Fishflies, and that's because this weird natural phenomenon where once a week all these bugs just, for 1 week rather, all these bugs just kind of cover the surface of everything, and the whole town's just kind of infested with fish flies, and everyone's like, yeah, it's gross, but give them a week and they'll all die off. So this kind of weird natural phenomenon to kick off the story. Yeah, lots of creepy bugs everywhere. So a bit of true crime, a bit of creature horror. It is really interesting, and Jeff Lemire has really nice watercolors that really go with this gruff but kind of whimsical story. But big thing, this book is thick. It's in that kind of mini graphic novel size, thick enough to actually write the name on the spine. And for only $5.99 too, that's pretty good. It gives Jeff Lemire all the pages he needs, where if he wants to do a big full-page splash for an emotional moment, he's got the pages and he can do it. It really lets the book breathe, and it really gives you a chance to sit down and get involved in something. I really like when they make nice, thick comics, so knowing that this was coming out, knowing that it was Lemire drawing Lemire, but then also seeing how thick it was, a really good, pleasant surprise. And overall, I really do like this book. If you guys want to see a little bit of the inside, I'll show you guys a little bit of the art. I'll talk a little bit about the story and do a little bit of analysis. I won't go too far into it. I won't spoil the ending. Nothing like that. But if you want to see just a little bit more, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Fishflies number 1. I guess I should say right off the bat, I really do like this header up here. Really reminiscent of Tales from the Crypt with a big, blocky header. And of course, because he did story and art, Jeff Lemire is the only name up here. In addition to the nice gold image logo and its little banner, we of course do have the cover. And if we flip it to the back, this is the A cover, 00111. And it's this nice portrait of our main character with a giant fish fly as a pet. Really nice watercolor, the silo and everything behind her. It's a cool cover that gets the point across. The spine, we can see, is actually thick enough to have all the writing on the side, and there's the number 1 there. I kind of think of this size as the mini graphic novel size. It will fit in a bag and board, but if you wanted to, you could just put these all up on your shelves. I really do like the writing on the side. Anyway, the back also does include the wanted poster for the criminal character, and we see that it's only $5.99. that's a pretty good price for doing it this thick. I know comics, there's all this stuff on the business side, and I say that if you're willing to put forth a bunch of extra pages, I'll pay more money. But to do this many extra pages and only ask for $5.99, it's a pretty good deal. I really do like that. Rated M for mature. Not the super most mature book ever, but there are some moments. Anyway, flip it to the inside. We get the inside cover with all this information. Jeff Lemire is the writer and artist. We do also get a few other credits, lettering and design, editor, and variant cover by Peach Momoko. Peach Momoko is a really good artist. If you want to pick up a variant, this would probably be a good time to do so. But anyway, after that, let's jump into the book. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to take a moment, analyze some plot points, show you guys some cool art, but I won't do any major spoilers, just a quick look inside the book. But we open up, this light attracting all these flies, a little hint at the story to come, and then we see a bunch of youth going down to the gas station to get some treats, and I do like their dialogue. It's a little bit Pulp Fiction-esque dialogue with them arguing about something. In this one, they're talking about how they stopped calling ice cream sandwiches Eskimo pies, and is that racist or not, you know? So they do talk and they joke and they punch each other, but of course they start to see something that distracts them, a crunch, and then all these flies beneath their feet, and then we get a really good visual for this book, this double-page splash here, where we see thousands upon thousands of these fish flies are drawn to the light of this mini-mart. And I have to say, in real life, I had a very similar experience. I remember there was a bunch of June bugs outside of this gas station once when we were on a road trip. Oh man, walking across that was just gut-wrenching. But I do also like, with Jeff Lemire's art, he drew a few little fish flies crawling on the panel itself down there. But anyway, they begin to dare each other to actually go in the store, really naturalistic way young boys do, and they dare one $20 to go in barefoot. Gee, that's gross. But of course, when he does go in, it's not just a normal trip to the gas station. There's him in the fish flies are spilling in, and he sees something. And it's, of course, a criminal has held up the gas station with all the fish flies, rather. So yeah, quite the extreme circumstance, but we don't actually get a resolution. We don't find out what exactly happened, but we do get the criminal wandering through the field with blood, and he feels like he's about to pass out, and he's going to try to make it to this barn. However, the fish flies will start to be drawn to him, and we get this really, really eerie sequence where there's way too many fish flies. I keep wanting to say fruit flies. I've never heard of a fish fly before this book. But look, he gets all covered with them and passes out in the barn. And I won't go too much further in the story than this, but our main character shows up, this young girl, and she has sinus problems, so she's always sniffing, and she sees all the fish flies going into the barn, and that's where she's going to find the criminal character. And you even get her poking him with a stick. But needless to say, the criminal character, he's not looking too good. The fish flies really did get to him. But I do want to say that I think her name's Fran. She is a real interesting character, the way she, kind of innocently wants to help this guy, but also wanting to help him kind of because she does recognize the bad in the world and the bad that she's done, and in turn she's being more forgiving of it. Like, yeah, you're doing a bad thing, you're getting punished for it, but let's just pray and hope it all works out okay. So I do really like her, and there is a good bit of character moments, and I do look forward to seeing what's going to happen with these two characters. But, you know, stopping right there, about at the halfway point, and I skipped over a lot of pages, because like I said, this thing's pretty thick, but it goes in some interesting places, and what exactly are these Fishfly characters anyway? So I think it is a really interesting book. I really like, you know, Jeff Lemire when he's just by himself. He tends to do things that are a strange combination of being really mundane and real worldly, but also surreal and out there and abstract, and they really work in a way that you might not think they would. But Jeff Lemire, art and story, and really thick, yeah, you can't really go wrong with that. And as thick as this thing is, only being $5.99, yeah, it's a pretty good, fun experience, and I really can't wait to see where they're going or how long this book will be. Overall, pretty fun. Definitely recommend it. Anyway, if you guys want to hear me talk about more Jeff Lemire comics, I'll put a playlist on the bottom. I've covered quite a few of him, and he does a bunch of interesting stuff, you know. He'll do lighter-hearted comics and darker comics like Gideon Falls. I've covered a few of those. Those are pretty fun. So if you want to see more Jeff Lemire, a playlist should pop up soon. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Lemire playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.